was talking about like death and dismemberment all the time.
Whoa.
I don't really want to talk about this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
Hey, everybody. This is Gina Salento and Neil Friedenberg. We're from Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, and today we have a very special guest, co-founder and CEO of Empower Pickleball, Kim Bastien. Hey, Kim. Kim is Kim is also the media platform in which Empower is that we hold our podcast on. So,
What's up, Kim?
Hey, Neil. Hey, Gina. It's great to be here.
hello. So, Kim, thanks so much for taking time out of your really busy schedule. I know that you have one because I talk to you almost all the time, and I know you're dealing with so much stuff. So I'm really grateful that you are our first guest on our podcast. And it's important because we go way back. You go back with Neil and you go back with me. So it's kind of neat that we all met and came together. Kim, why don't you share with everybody how we met?
Yeah, absolutely. So I reached out to you guys with the apparel brand, and then we went to an event together out in California. I got to meet with you in person. It was a lot of fun because we got to play pickleball before the event. You taught me some strategies on how to return serves and serve at the same time. We were actually pickleball partners. I was horrible and you were super helpful because my skill level before that event is definitely not where it's at now. So you were very patient and an amazing instructor.
Wow, thanks. Thank you very much because I do remember playing with you and I remember laughing a lot. And I remember we did. And it was just fun to be out there with you and meet you that way versus just, sometimes we don't even get that personal connection when you meet somebody like what we're doing now. But I'm grateful that we got to spend time. Neil, how did you meet Kim?
Well, we go way back. A long time ago, I met Kim when I was running a pickleball paddle company, and she reached out and it related to some marketing ideas and sponsorship. And after that, we just stayed in touch. You ever meet somebody that you just consider, wow, this could be a long time friendship. And I bet you that's pretty normal in pickleball, but I just felt a really strong connection, kind of like a sister type of connection where you just wanted to hang around that person. And pickleball does that. So we stayed in touch through, gosh, how many years? I don't even know how many years now. Probably at least a couple, 2 or 3, 4, maybe. But we stayed in touch.
4 years now. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. And then we finally got to meet each other in person in Kansas City at PickleCon. And, it was just like there was no hesitation. So that's what I remember. I didn't get on the court or anything with Kim or anything, but I'm sure we will at some point.
Kim, that leads me to my next question of who do you like best?
You or Neil? Oh,
yeah.
Boy. I just like the sass that you both give. Knowing you guys on our company calls and stuff now, and even before, I love the camaraderie that all three of us have. And unfortunately,
we can be real.
We keep it real. I've never met we haven't had all three of us together yet, but that is going to happen. I am going to fly to Wisconsin, and I definitely want that to happen.
That'd be great. We wait for you to come here because we'll show you around and get you.
I've never been to Wisconsin. Never been to Wisconsin. So maybe an airport at one point, but I have visions of Wisconsin that I'm sure are not true.
Not everyone eats cheese curds and brats every single day of the year. No, that's just, I'm a transplant from Washington State, but I've definitely became accustomed to the Wisconsin way of life. But I want to say, yes, not everyone eats cheese curds and drinks a beer with every single meal of the day.
Kim, start by telling us or telling the audience too, like what's your background? Like, where did you come from? And then we'll lead into what you're building now.
Well, I was born and raised in Manchester, New Hampshire. No, I'm just kidding. We won't have to go back that far.
New Hampshire.
We have extra R's in New Hampshire. So I actually have a very eclectic background. One of my first jobs was large format graphics. And I think that's important because I worked with a lot of marketing people, right? So I was kind of in charge of doing the banners and bus wraps and trade show displays and all of that. Later on in my career, I was on the opposite side. I was on sales teams and managers and ran sales teams up and down the East Coast and for various product companies. So now I know what it's like to be the team that is dealing with the marketing and marketing materials. And then I've went on and worked for one of the larger media companies in pickleball and bringing those all together after kind of COVID in a video kind of online way. And I think meeting different people along the way. The eclectic background has really come together because I understand the marketing brains of who I'm meeting with. And then I'm also understanding what their sales goals are. It's awesome to do a branding play, but the ultimate goal is they need to convert. They need the ROI, and they need to sell material. So how do you do that? And how do you break into pickleball in order to do that? And there are secret ways to do that.
Well, what got you into pickleball though in the first place?
I actually didn't know anything about pickleball. After COVID, I was working in insurance at that time, so that kind of killed that industry. And when it was time to go back to work, I said, I don't want to go back to corporate. I was kind of done wearing the black suits and doing all of that. And I was actually doing like health and life insurance, so I was talking about like death and dismemberment all the time.
Whoa.
I don't really want to talk about this now. Like, if you get sick or hurt on or off the job and you die or get cancer, like, I can help you. Like, it's kind of
Wow.
not uplifting.
You went
So
from
I'm like,
morbid to something
yeah,
completely different, the sport that saves lives.
like, well, what am I gonna do? And I literally got an email from a recruiter wanting me to have a conversation, and I deleted it because I didn't know what that word was. In New England, the word dank is not really appropriate. What you call somebody. And I'm like, what is this? And I deleted the first email, and I got another email, and we had a great conversation. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity because that opened the doors for pickleball for me. My sister-in-law, who lives near the first indoor center in New England, which is Pickles, New England, was like, hey, I have an indoor center near me. She lives 2 hours away. She's like, pickleball's like a hot sport. Like, you should really think about it. And I come from sports. Like, I love playing sports. I love being active, not super active, but active,
Good
and
enough.
active enough, not like crazy active, but active enough. So I was excited. I was really excited. I'm probably
What's
one of the few people on the business side that do actually play
so how often are you playing right now?
right now because we started Empower Pickleball, not as often as I want. It is a startup. A lot of the invoicing and accounting and paperwork and proposals and all of that stuff at the moment is done by me. However, and I'm in the middle of training a few people too. But once that happens, I'll be able to get on the court pretty soon.
Why don't you tell the viewers about what Empower Pickleball is and why you started it?
Well, as I was traveling around and working mostly on the pro side of pickleball, I was hearing all these amazing stories of people that were really growing their communities. And it's hard, right? Like, when you're covering the pro scene, there's so much going on that you can't necessarily also cover the community scene. And it was just hard to not give a voice or a platform to those people. And that's why one of the reasons why I started Empower Pickleball with the co-founder, because it's when you have different communities like Alyssa Brown from Black Girls Pickle 2, and she's trying to build her community in Atlanta so she can see more people like her that are on the court. Or you have another woman I met who grew her Latina audience down in Southern California to thousands of females, and she taught them for free. That's really what pickleball is about. Or you hear these amazing stories about how these people in Africa went across African lines, different countries, putting their lives on stake, and they only had money to go one way, and they didn't win. So the pickleball community rallied around them and paid for them to get back. You just hear these stories over and over again, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to give a platform and a voice, because it's important to bring everyone together and just get rid of kind of the drama and get back to the foundation of what pickleball is and why it exploded in the first place.
Is that your favorite part of pickleball? Just out of curiosity, the diversity out there.
Yes. So my family's pretty diverse. We have two adopted kids. One is intellectually disabled and deaf, and it's really hard to do family activities with them. Like, even a simple board game
Hmm.
is difficult, like picking the right board game. And pickleball is one of the things that we have found that we can actually do as a family.
That's awesome.
You've made it clear that pickleball in this space, working with just the pros for a while, and now you're trying to bring in the real diversity that this sport touches. Is there something that's still missing that you want to maybe showcase? Meaning, like, is there an untapped area of pickleball that needs to have light shed on it that you've come across that you want to bring to the forefront of maybe showcasing on Empower?
Yeah, so I'm a history buff. So in my personal life, I love history. what I see a lot of times is they talk about Bainbridge Island and where it started, and then they skip ahead to 2025. Well, what happened in between? Like, what is happening
Right.
in between all of that? You have all the OGs in between that, and they don't know who they are. Another thing is, I'm on a lot of calls, and I'll be with brands. I'll talk to brands, and they're like, "Well, we don't really sponsor senior pros," and I push back because I'm like, senior pros are the ones that grew the game and why we all have jobs in pickleball in the first place. And then they miss contracts by like 1 to 3 years, the bigger contracts. And now those pros, I love. I have some friends that are those pros. There's nothing wrong with those pros, but their schedules are crazy and they're busy. So who is turning around and teaching the next generation coming up again? Well, guess what? That's falling on the shoulders of the senior pros again. And so if you want to sponsor somebody, you really kind of want to sponsor a senior pro because they're the ones teaching, educating, traveling, vacationing, doing all of this in pickleball and still growing the sport with a different demographic.
Right. They're giving back.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a
It's
lot
true.
of attention on the ages, getting younger and younger, but you're absolutely right. We can't forget not only the founders, but the OGs that just laid down the groundwork for the game to actually grow and go forward like it is now.
Yep. Like I come from a weird background. Like a lot of people like this isn't my first company I've started. So it's like, where did you learn this? Well, I learned it from my father. Like my dad always had like a full-time job, but on the side, he had a karate school. He had Taekwondo Karate Club. He's still teaching to this day. And what did I see? Well, I saw him teach people who are blind. I saw him teach people who are disabled. I saw him teach all these different demographics in his karate school and have them thrive. And he gave them a place to go and belong, but he also brought entire communities and family together. So I was not really seeing that. It was kind of being segmented. And I don't want it to be segmented because it can be together. And that's the strength of pickleball, which is why our ambassadors are so diverse.
Right. Now you're spot on. So with Empower, so what's your dream? What's the dream for Empower? Where do you want to go with it? What does that look like?
Well, right now the goal is to grow and be able to be the go-to source where we can create demand for what other people need, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, right now you have tournaments, but sometimes they don't have the list or demand of people in a specific area to drive them to sign up. So we can do that. We want to be a resource for tips and tricks, education, travel, like anywhere. If someone wakes up one day, it's like, they had a couple margaritas with their girlfriends and like, you know what? We want to do a pickleball trip. Where should we go? They can, oh, well, let's go to Empower and see all the different kinds of trips, or let's go see all the different kind of education. And so as we grow and our new website comes out and all this other stuff comes out, we hit all these different demographics and ages. I can't tell you all the secret stuff right now, but we, in 5 years, I'm envisioning Empower Pickleball will be known worldwide.
Very good. Have
Very
you
cool.
seen though, like within the last year? I don't know, it's hard for me to say, but I've been only in pickleball for like 7 or 8 years, not as long as Neil for sure. But do you feel it's still the growth of it is still the trajectory is still going up pretty much, or is it just leveling off a little bit now? What do you think?
I think it's still growing in the United States because the age is dropping fast. I think saying the average age is 33 isn't quite accurate because it's happening so fast.
Younger than that.
I think that's just here. But when you think about other countries and their accessibility coming from racket sports and including ping pong in that racket sport and including badminton, it's growing extremely fast. Extremely fast. No, I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think it's going to keep going up. I don't think it's going to plateau like racquetball and some of the other sports have.
Yeah, the backgrounds of the Asian countries, I mean, it's diverse in itself. It's not only table tennis, it's badminton, and when you bring that to the courts, it's kind of scary to think how it's going to evolve because there's going to be a lot of, pros on the tour that are going to see a whole different type of game and strategy out there that, might it might be surprising.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
the strategy is already kind of changing. You can
yeah,
see that. You can see the different techniques that are coming in. It's harder to see on a live stream or on television. Like I always recommend like people to go. Like it's very
Yes.
interesting to see in person. It's extremely different and
yeah.
exciting to see in person, but it's going to be cool. But this sport will make the Olympics someday. It's a feat to get it in the Olympics, not as easy as people think it is, but it will
Like
get there.
breakdancing?
I don't even know what's going on with that.
They got rid of it. So how they even got it in there in the first place is beyond me.
This episode of Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil is sponsored by Raya. Eyewear engineered to boost your performance, protect your vision, and give you the edge you need on the court. See the difference.
But I
I
wanted
saw
to ask
better
you what,
breakdancing in the 80s.
yeah, what are some of your what are your strengths in pickleball, Kim? Like what have you worked on that you're getting good at in pickleball when you do
I
get to
like being
play?
at the kitchen line. Like I love being at
No
the kitchen
fear.
line and fast hands. That's been my strength. I'm horrible at serving. I think some of that has to do with where I live and who I play with. Nothing against people I play with, but I play with rec players. So we just kind of like, we just serve it. Let's go. That's how our approach is.
Got you.
So my serve is not great. It needs to be worked on, but that's my focus.
Are you a trash talker out there?
I can get sassy, yeah. I don't talk trash, but I can get sassy. It depends. Like
Yeah,
where I play is a lot of older, pretty well-known Division One coaches that are retired from these colleges that are hardcore. So they can get a little scary and they can start talking trash, and I just silently take them down, or I get my butt kicked, which is probably more often than not.
but that's the best way to learn, I think. Get your butt
Yeah, I
kicked, see
don't
what they're
mind it.
doing against you.
I play I play pickleball for fun, so
Yeah, yeah.
there's no stress. I get asked a lot, are you ever going to enter a tournament? Maybe someday, but right now I just like to keep my rating a secret, and I do play. I do like it. My rating has, come up. I'm not signed with any rating system right now. I don't follow any rating system right now. I'm just getting that feedback from people that I'm playing with or the pros that have given me some tips and tricks.
Right. You get on the courts and de-stress a little bit from a long day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So going back to Empower, were you on the pickleball court when you decided to start this new company?
No, not at all. We weren't on the pickleball court. We went to PickleCon. When I saw you in PickleCon, we actually had T-shirts that had a different company name. We were about to launch a different company and go in a certain direction. But when we were walking around PickleCon, it just didn't feel right. It felt like we wanted to do something else. And at the
Hmm.
time, I was doing consulting for another company. And then I started getting kind of like stressed, right? Because there's so much drama and stress on the business side of pickleball, and there's just like a lot happening. So as that was all happening, we were having conversations, and the co-founder and and I'm like, you know what? It's either I leave pickleball or I empower pickleball. And we give a place and a platform for all these people and stories, and we do what we're passionate about. And that's when we decided to launch Empower Pickleball. And then as far as like as the company grew, we are a startup. We're in startup mode. Everyone is, grinding and sweat equity and doing all this stuff. But it just was crazy how all the people just fell at the right time for the right reason. First was Paige, and I'm like, well, we need someone in marketing desperately. Are you in? She's like, yeah, I'm in. And then it's like it was one person after the other, and we just have an amazing team. I always tell people on calls we have the best team in pickleball, which is true.
Did you ever feel kind of scared, like when you were first starting? That feeling where it's something brand new, you want to get your feet wet a little bit, but you already knew pickleball. You already had a background in there. Were you?
Yeah. I already knew pickleball. I know how to like launch brands. I do have a pretty great supportive business network
Mhm.
that also cross promoted Empower at first, which helped us grow very quickly, organically. Is it scary? Yeah, I get scared, but I tend in my life to kind of jump off and build my wings as I go,
Mhm.
because I know if something feels right, everything kind of falls in place, then you know that it's going to work out, and that's where we're at right now.
Very cool.
I have a question. So I've noticed in just our interaction on just trying to get stuff done and build this business together of Empower and my little contribution here and there along the way, I notice how well you're connected to different organizations and companies and people in pickleball and the world of pickleball. How much of it is leaning on your network system? Like, do you have good relationships from what I understand with a lot of diverse people in pickleball? Like, do you have to pull a lot of, cards to try to make, things happen, or are you, how hard is it to start something like this? Because I mean, are you using all these resources and that makes it easier, or are you just kind of going it alone and whoever you have to call upon along the way? What is your process with this?
Doing something like this is not easy. So I would say the audience growth has been 100%. Some of the females in pickleball on the business side, products and whatnot, that wanted to share our information first because we launched our female newsletter first. That was really helpful. And then it's a lot about grinding, like reaching out to Facebook groups, reaching out to communities, reaching out and doing a lot of the outreach and coming from a genuine place wasn't something that was in my wheelhouse because most of my connections was in the pro space. So that's all new. Our brands, that's all new. Like we do a lot of outreach through LinkedIn and other places that the sales team and I would do a lot of research of who we're going to reach out to and what value can we bring our customers. Like, what are they looking for, and what kind of value? What's different out there? So, short answer is no. Some of my
Okay.
previous connections are supportive, and that's been great. But you kind of have to prove yourself before they want to partner with you. But from our launch in October till now has all been grinding
With going back to
and
partners,
determination.
with partnerships, there's so much out there in pickleball right now. I mean, we could obviously talk about paddles and gear, but I think a lot of companies are getting into pickleball with so many other options out there. You know, what's you don't have to name names, but what's the oddest or weirdest company that maybe you've reached out to, or they reached out to you? What kind of products, if that makes sense?
There hasn't been anything like really unique and strange under
Okay.
Empower yet. I've done some pretty unique partnerships before, and we're bringing some unique partnerships again. We have a very large giveaway going on right now and bringing different partners, apparels, paddles, different media companies together
Hmm.
is exciting. I love doing that unique stuff. We do have some partnerships that are out of the box that are coming up, and people are going to be like, well, how does that relate to pickleball? That's our job to show the value of how it relates to pickleball. What problem does it solve? That's the goal. If you can solve a problem and give them value, then the brand wins because they get brand recognition and they get to sell stuff, right? So if
Right.
they get ROI, then they'll want to re-advertise and then you can grow together. Some brands that doesn't make sense. It makes sense to do a smaller partnership because it is so unique and maybe a unique drop would make more sense. So we don't have we don't have just three partnerships. It's like this is what you're buying, this is how it works,
Hmm.
period, end of story. We get on calls, we walk them through a process, we figure out what they're looking for, what they've tried, what failed. Like I really want to hear what failed.
Hmm.
Have you even advertised in sports before? Like, let's start with that. Your demographics, your age, but sometimes when we're on calls, we'll tell brands this isn't a good fit for you. Like we're very honest. Sometimes we'll say, yeah, you're a great fit for us. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah. Well, all you have to do is turn on the TV and see pickleballs everywhere right now. You know, especially in the morning, I turn on the news and you see people in the background playing pickleball, and it's usually a big medical companies or medicine, you know, for a certain condition. But right now, pickleball has got to be the most popular sport in the entire world. That's pretty exciting.
It's getting there. It's not the most popular sport in the entire world,
The
and it doesn't have
fastest
the
growing. Fast.
most money in it yet, but it will it's getting there.
You've seen pickleball for a while now. There's pros, there's recreational players, there's a heck of a lot of diversity, which personally to me is one of the most amazing and just beautiful things in pickleball when you can see that out on the courts. Let's not put it aside. What do you think right now in pickleball is maybe the most disturbing? What do you see out there that really needs like a gut check for some of the people out there?
Ego,
Egos?
ego. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
for sure.
egos are definitely a problem, and they're on both sides, right? So whether you are a player or whether you're a business owner or part of it, it can be a lot to get wrapped in, and you got to stay grounded,
Hmm.
and that's hard sometimes. But ego, for
That's
sure.
part of upbringing too, isn't it? You know,
Well,
staying grounded,
I think it's difficult. Like if you
being
take
humble.
anything, right? If some people might have a different background and if all of a sudden they're getting lots of accolades or they're feeling famous or whatever may be happening or they're making a lot of money that they haven't made before, maybe on the business side, like the next thing you know, like you could not be grounded, and that's sad. You could also have an entire company not stay grounded in pickleball. When it really comes down to is there is not a Tom Brady or Simone Biles or someone of a huge caliber in pickleball. It's getting there. There are a couple players that if you ask on your local court, have you noticed or do you know? And they'll say yes. However, overall, nobody really, they're not household names yet, or even certain tours are not household names yet. And that's okay. Like, I live really close to the Basketball Hall of Fame. So you can go through there and discover where basketball came from and how that grew and all the different segments. It will get easier. It will get better. And what's interesting about this sport is not like any other. It's not football. It's not soccer. It's not, basketball. You can't have an ego or not come from a good place. If you're just here for money, people will sniff that out. They'll see through that like a screen door, and you will not be a part of it. Whether you're a player or a brand or some sort of business owner. That is what's going to happen.
Right.
So that's what's nice, because it doesn't matter what level of pickleball you're at. It's still all community based, and they're not going to want it. They just don't want the drama. They don't want the craziness.
Do you feel that's the best part of pickleball? Going kind of reversing course here, we talked about, egos and entitlement. What's the best that you've seen, or what do you feel
I
you're
think it
connected
brings
with the
all
most?
walks of life together. Like
Yeah.
bringing all walks of life together is super cool, right? Like, where, as a woman being in insurance and coming from New England, we don't play golf. Golf isn't really accessible, right? So if you want to get up to a certain level as an executive and you don't play golf, guess what? You're not going to get promoted. But in pickleball, if you really pay attention to the airports now, you'll see little paddles sticking out of backpacks because they're traveling.
Yeah.
And now they're playing pickleball on the court. I've met people of all walks of life on the court. And it doesn't matter if they have $5 in their pocket or if they're worth billions of dollars. The bottom line is they just want to play and they're having a good time.
Super
It's true.
accessible.
It's super accessible. It's definitely changed a lot of people's lives. All those stories, keeping people sober, keeping them from wanting to not commit suicide, meeting their future spouse on the court. These are all important things, but also you're meeting people you would have never met. I remember being down south and an indoor pickleball center, and there were obviously two people from totally different walks of life in the south, and there they are, pickleball partners, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I love the diversity of it.
Kim, what part of you has grown or shifted the most because of your involvement in pickleball?
I think the biggest part that has grown and shifted is I am a little more cautious of giving away all the information that I have learned and can grow, because I want the team to benefit from us working all together. I had been burnt in the past by probably giving away too much information, and then you get into a questionable area of being used and not for good, right? We're back to getting used to get that ego. So yeah, I'm probably a little more guarded in a positive way. And I do love connecting people in the sport, however. So I do still send out emails, connect different companies with other companies if it makes sense, and introducing people. And I think that's all very important. I've done that from career number one, and I'll continue doing that because that's how we all grow together.
Yeah, it's good
But
business.
that's probably the one thing that's changed, is I'm probably a little more quieter.
Right. You kind of like your guard is up. You trust your inner circle, something like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I think I was giving away too much information before, and then other people could run with it, or it would only help their career, and it wouldn't necessarily help anyone else, or they would kind of use that information. Sadly, on the business side of things, there's a lot of people that will just step on you like a grape so they can climb the ladder faster, but then I just see them fall off the ladder because people figure out that they're not in it for the right reasons. So I'm just a little more guarded, and I lean on the team. Like, this isn't just a one person show. Like, we have a good team and we all have specific things that we're very good at, and that's important. So yeah, we all lean on each other as a team.
You talk about empowerment a lot. What does empowerment mean to you?
To me, as a person, is probably different than what I want to do for other people. For other people, what I want them to do is get off the couch and shut the TV off Put your darn phone down. Put the phone down. Go out and have a conversation with somebody. Pick up a paddle. Start playing. Have fun. That's what I think the biggest thing that pickleball does, especially for the youngest generation. Like when we go out as a family, sometimes we don't even have any pictures of us playing pickleball, and the phones are right there because we're having too much fun and we forget to pick them up.
That's awesome.
That is,
I
that's
I know
what's
exactly what
important.
that
It's,
looks like.
working on the media side of things, like it's really hard to get a hold of me on Sundays because I just put my phone down. I never have my phone with me usually. I take phone breaks. We've taught our kids to take phone breaks. They're important. And I think pickleball, as far as empowering people, I think it just gives them back what we had when we were kids. When we were kids, we made, forts and traveled through the woods and tied ropes to cars and skateboarded holding on to them. And we did a lot of stupid stuff, all getting injured in pickleball, but it's because we'll do that. It makes us feel like kids again because we're connecting with people and that humanization is happening. That's so important and it's lost. That's just one of the reasons why the sport grew so fast. So that's our goal, is to empower them, give them tips and tricks, make the shy person read an article and realize, hey, wait a minute, that's me. I can do this. That's the important part for me.
Awesome. Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for joining us. That was really an honor to like just have you on as our first guest on the podcast.
Thank you for
We
letting
look
us host your podcast.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, that's part of it, like 360. It's kind of neat. And where can people that want to know more about Empower Pickleball and the stories that Empower Pickleball offers and everything pickleball, where can they find it?
They should go to empowerpickleball.com, EMPOWER, pickleball.com. They should subscribe to our newsletters. 100%. That's where you can get all the information, where the new podcast drops are, reviews, articles. Everything is part of the newsletters, and they can also read through. But they should check us out on our Instagram at Empower Pickleball. If they want to get me directly, they can find me on LinkedIn. But the main
Is,
source, they should go to empowerpickleball.com.
is Empower Pickleball done?
It is free. Yep. Our newsletter subscription is free.
See, that sets you apart right there.
Well, newsletters in general are usually free.
Well, the good ones.
The good ones.
Well, good. Thank you so much, Kim. We look forward
Thank
to
you
bringing you
guys.
back. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for today's podcast. We hope to see you soon. Make sure you like and subscribe because that's how you're going to get it right to your tablet, phone, and laptop. Thanks so much.
If you learned something or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it.
Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.